legal requirement every single time we appear on camera, trying to get both biceps in there. There it is. Welcome to the AWE podcast. We are live on multiple platforms. If you are in the chat, say hello. The man sitting next to me on my left, but you're right. It is in fact the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, and you misplaced it. You were supposed to have it ready.
No.
That's all right. We'll pretend you're the heavyweight champion of the AWE. No, there you go. All right, there it is. The Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. In the running for it again this year. We have some serious contenders for the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. So hopefully you've been ship shape and been training hard. But it is in, of course, Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much for that very, very warm welcome. Hollywood man Connelly. Nationally big week in the world of AWE. This week, AWE 2 is in the can. Absolutely spectacular event. Went off just as one would hope and expect. And Hollywood, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're really looking forward to seeing what your comments, thoughts, and feelings have been about AWE 2. We're very excited to know what you're thinking about it and what is maybe into the future and the matchups you would love to hear. We've just gotten off the phone to Ryan Blue Bowen, and very early days, the planning is in place. AWE3 is a lock-in. It is 100% a lock-in. AWE4 is something that you should be looking forward to as well. Hollywood Matt Connelly, what was the highlights of AWE2 for you?
Well, there were so many. I think overall, I'm just so happy about the entire event, the production, the audio, the way the matches went down. Your announcing. I think we met some amazing people. We saw some amazing matches. We had people from all around the world come to Adelaide for this card. Just even getting to meet these guys. I mean, as we said, first and foremost, we are arm wrestling fans, and then getting the opportunity to even just meet Todzilla or meet Maduringi again and have them in person here competing in Adelaide. It was just phenomenal. So, yes, overall, the card, we couldn't have been happier. Did you have a standout highlight moment?
There were so many. I mean, it was just one of those events. For me, I think seeing Ryan back in the winners column, I think that was spectacular to see. I like one of the aspects of the event that I really enjoyed, much like yourself, was watching it back and the commentary. So kudos to you and Ryan. I thought the commentary was absolutely spectacular. Of course, in the moment and on the day, I wasn't able to enjoy any of it. But when watching back the live stream, that was the thing that stuck out to me probably more than anything else, was the quality of the commentary. Of course, the matchups, Gunter's Bykov's now walking away again as our AWE heavyweight champion, and a great performance against the Tahitian Wrecking Bull, Marcus Satirai. That was a matchup I was really looking forward to. Rickett Bowman's debut. I mean, Rickett is a very, very special athlete, and in person, very impressive specimen. But more than that, just an absolute sweetheart of bloke. Maduringi Hedemorris, unfortunately, is no longer the holder of the Intercontinental belt, but still walks away a champion. Great to have him as our inaugural winner, and I'm sure he'll be back. And one of just the nicest human beings you're ever likely to come across. Lachlan Carpenter, again, came back, got a win, which is really important for Lachlan, and that helped him sink his teeth into the next challenge, and importantly, keeps him on the roster, and we're rapt to see that. Another little thing that stepped out to me in my mind was Josh Barker. 4 days after an elbow operation, after a massive infection, he just popped into life.
He did.
Oh, there you go. Just perfect timing, Josh. So an absolutely heroic performance against a formidable foe in Thomas Fitzy, who, of course, demonstrated to everybody that he is indeed world-class. But Josh Barker to be on the operating table just a matter of days prior to jumping on the plane and coming over on a course of antibiotics, on the anti-inflammatories, and just getting himself to a point where he could get into the cage and onto the table was absolutely mammoth. So even though Josh walked away with the nail on this occasion, you can't take anything away from Josh Barker. I don't think we had a prime optimal Josh Barker on the day. We had very much a diminished Josh Barker, and I think Josh, from my mind, is still world class, especially under 70 kilos. Can obviously take it to people much bigger than him, and we'll absolutely see Josh Barker back in AWE very, very soon. For people who were watching from home, they might not have noticed, but literally blood was coming out of Josh's elbow and covering the table as. I mean, the reality is that there aren't too many athletes that would have put themselves into a position where they knew that there was every chance they were going to lose because they weren't at their best, and still turned up and delivered and gave themselves 100% and walked away with the pin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, phenomenal. What an amazing effort from Josh Barker. It's great to see you here in the channel. Say hello to everyone who's popping in here. We've got Dominic Lawrence, who says hello, comrades. Dominic. Hello to you. And our favorite Couch Apple has jumped in. Good
Couch
evening,
Apple.
gents. How are you doing? Great. Yes, well, all the way from Denmark, of course. Couch Apple. Good to see you in here as well. But yes, Josh Barker, what an incredible effort he put in on the weekend. And yeah, the entire time, this is what was crazy. The whole way through leading up to the event, he had no doubts that he was going to be competing.
Yeah.
Even when he was in hospital.
Yeah.
Because he had, I think it started as an infection.
Mm.
And he said, I've got this infection in my arm. It's making it difficult to train, whatever. And I said, well, you know, have you seen the doctor? Yeah, I've got some antibiotics. It should be fine. Okay, cool. No worries. And then it progressed to, it's gone really bad. And then it's progressed to, I'm going to hospital.
They're going to amputate.
That's right. Well, they didn't get that far. But then it was, I'm in hospital and they've got to operate. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, the infection has spread to his elbow joint or something.
So we're like slowly scratching him off the list. Oh, Josh is out.
We had to put some backup plans in place. But at the entire time, Josh was adamant that he was going to be there and he was going to compete, even as he was going into the operating room. So yeah, a tremendous effort from Josh.
Tremendous effort. Big heart.
He says, thank you guys. Well, yes, well, thank you for showing up on the day and giving it your absolute best effort. And
very, very professional.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, leaving blood on like giving it
blood,
at all.
Sweat and tears.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we like to see is people that they see an opportunity and they're going to move mountains to get there, and you gave it absolutely every opportunity to get there on the card, which you did, and you performed and you did phenomenally well. Thomas Fitzy, a very, very tough opponent to go up against, and it was very much an explosive battle, both guys being lightning quick on their press. And you saw that in round one, Josh Barker, instant pin, lightning. Round two, Thomas Fitzy, instant pin, lightning. And it was just, it was back and forth. They were throwing these knockout punches at each other. And it was like, you could see the confusion when they would get pinned or get the pin. It was like, hang on, how did that happen? That's normally what I do.
It was like fighting a mirror. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. We did have an over under betting going on whether you guys were going to clash heads or have a big headbutt moment. But I think that Josh is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, here in the comments, but I believe after a couple of rounds of back and forth presses, Josh's elbow, that's when it started to bleed. Maybe he felt that he wasn't in a position where he could continue pressing the way that he normally does. He started changing to an outside top roll move. Unfortunately, a couple of times his hand sort of dipped beneath the pin line as he was swinging back around to go for the pin there. But yeah, it looked like maybe the injury was causing some dramas at that point.
He did have some success with that against Taron Broad at AWE1. So I can see why he might have changed strategy, especially if he was getting a lot of tension and pain and losing blood. But on this occasion, Thomas Fitzy was more than enough. And Couch Apple, I'll tell you what, Couch Apple, you can just direct message me. We're going to get you an AWE T-shirt, mate. We're just going to send one straight over to you. So we might even get Hollywood Matt Connelly to sign that for you before we get it out to you. But mate,
it's on Instagram. Should he message you on Instagram?
I think we're friends on Facebook, mate. So you can just So you can just flick that straight through to me, mate, in Messenger, and give us your details, and we'll get you an AWE shirt, mate.
Wow, I don't even have an AWE shirt.
we actually didn't get AWE shirts on this occasion, and that's my fault because I've got to put our names on the order. I thought of everybody else, And then
That's putting others before yourself. That's what's important about
putting
that
others
message.
before you.
That's right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Jack Smeaton has jumped in to say good evening, and he has also made a comment about Josh Barker. Their awesome performance despite your elbow, Josh. Yeah, it was an awesome performance. Jack Smeaton being one of the Titans. I'm not sure if you've met Jack yet, but he will be wearing a red Titans shirt. He's easily to pick out of the bunch. He's the only one that's gone with red, so he's obviously the leader. So
I didn't know, but that's it. He's the one that can pack up the tables then. He's table monitor.
We've got Dominic Lawrence who says, I'm still buzzing from the event. You showcased Adelaide and Aussie arm wrestlers well. Thank you so much, Dominic. Yeah, we were very happy to have the opportunity to do it and have people from of Todd Zilla's caliber and Matawarengi and Jordan Sill and everybody that was willing to give us a chance to showcase their skills to an international audience here from Adelaide. So, and Adam Taranenko, 6 days of flights and
just crazy. So I mean, was it 5 cancellations?
No, it was. And I showed somebody this last night. So with Webjet, which is who I use to book the flights, they'll give you an itinerary, and it should have looked like 3 flights on the way here, 3 flights on the way back. It ended up being like 27 flights. And I was getting confused at the end, like, which one am I supposed to check in? Because there was like 7 open, like 7 that says check in. I'm like, I don't know which one it is.
Wow.
It was insane. You're scrolling through going, I don't know which flight you're supposed to be on. And yeah, it was very difficult.
And a long way to come for Artem as well. And Artem gave his all, but it must have been hard. I mean, it must have been hard for him he also performed on left and right hand. And, so some people have commented that maybe if this was in America and he was fresh and didn't have to travel, there might have been a different result. Maybe it would have been a different result if he wasn't competing left and right, because I mean, Mario is quite formidable and of course got the win on left as well. And so there's a lot of question marks over whether or not we got prime Artem or not. And chances are maybe he was somewhat diminished. And of course, the stress of travel when you're having 27 flights cutting in and out and having to reorganize and you're turning up. And I mean, there was at one point, he was only going to get here maybe an hour or 2 before the event, even though we'd planned for him to be here 2 or 3 days before. So that must have been of some concern to him and upset his preparation as well. And but strangely enough, when I was talking to Todd Hutchins about how he how he feels about traveling before a match, and he's like, yeah, it's no problems, it's a nice flight and I get to relax. And so
this is why I called Todd Hutchins the florist, because he makes his own arrangements.
Yes, he did. He booked it all in, and
it's fantastic. It helped me out so much. He just was like, no, I'll take care of it all. And he did. And I just said, when are you arriving? And I'll pick you up. And he just said, this time. And he was there. It was fine.
It's great. I reckon he can do all the bookings next time. He's great at it.
Well, he's very, very skilled at the international flights, and he was explaining his method to me as we were sitting in the airport once he'd arrived. That obviously he's dealt with flight cancellations and delays and all the rest of it before. And so where he lives, he says that he would prefer to drive for 6 or 8 hours to an international airport and then fly out from there, because he knows that if he has like a smaller 2-hour, 1-hour connecting flight to that international airport, it is like, that's the one that's more than likely going to get cancelled. And it's the first one, and then they're going to reschedule everything. So I'd rather drive, make sure that I'm there, get straight on the international flight, and then drive 6 hours back to prevent that possibility of having cancellation.
Although it is a long way to go on a snowmobile. So I want to know what you guys thought. We'll get to the comments in a few moments' time. But what did you think about arm wrestling in a cage? So we had our second event in a ISCA certified cage. Did you enjoy that? Did you like that? Was it a great visual or not? Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you thought about the reffing. So always interested. We've had some mixed feedback there. Some people love it. Some people didn't like it.
I loved it.
What did you like about the pace? You're a big fan of Tim Graham. And what did you think about the pace of the event? Was it well paced? Was the card too deep or not deep enough for your liking? Let us know in the comments.
Well, we'll quickly say hello to everyone who's jumping in here. Tim Pipes is gentleman. And he's like, Good evening to you. I'm not sure where you all are at in this world, but we are in it's a Thursday night here at 8 o'clock.
But we're all gentlemen, indeed. And Tim, it's a pipe because of the pipes. Is what you're saying? Get the pipes out.
We've got Yummy, who says that Josh was a biohazard. Yes, the blood rule was in full effect. He was bleeding all over the table, all over the pin pad. But what a tremendous effort from Josh Barker to show up in the first place, and then not only show up but give his absolute best effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of spilt blood's never hurt anyone. So
you want to say this one?
Love both of you guys and really appreciate all the hard work. It's Alex. So love both of you guys. We love you and really appreciate all the hard work you put into the sport of arm wrestling. Buddy Cop.
Buddy Cop, Alex.
Buddy Cop.
Yes,
now it all makes sense. I didn't know you had an actual name, Alex. I always got my Buddy Cop. So great to have you on the chat there, of course, Alex. Thanks so much, mate. And thanks for the wonderful feedback. We appreciate all of your support and look forward to seeing you at the next AWE event.
Alex is getting quite adept, actually. I'm trying to line up a super match that he doesn't know about.
Alex, things are in the works, mate. AWE 3 maybe.
Jack says, does Todd have an intercontinental belt? He was given the heavyweight one.
Jack, you bloody...
You've pointed out the mistake, mistake that we've made.
Jack...
Thanks a lot,
What
Jack.
are you, a private investigator?
I want that red shirt back.
Details. So the good news is Todd Hutchings did win the Intercontinental belt. The bad news is that we weren't able to present it to him because of, maybe
they were locked in the post office.
They were locked in the post office. So if you want a little bit of the background on that little story, is that we order our belts in. Of course, we've got to order enough belts to cover for each title matchup. So just in case obviously Todd wins, for instance, well, Mataringi retains his belt and holds on to it. So that was sitting safely in a trophy cabinet somewhere in New Zealand. And so which I was a little bit surprised by, because I just imagined Mataringi walking around with it on his shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously he doesn't. And so we had to get 3 new belts. And you can see right here, here's the Intercontinental belt that might have found its way into the hands of just drawn a blank, but
also that's the heavyweight belt that we presented to Toddzilla, but he did actually win the
no
belt.
This is a fresh one. So the one that was presented,
this is the one from the post office.
This is the one from the post office. So if obviously Gunter's not won the heavyweight title, Marcus Satirai would have walked away with this belt right in front of us right now. So we've got ourselves an extra belt at the moment. But Gunter's retained the belt. It's his. It's gone home with him one more time. And if our title, if our belt holders do lose their matchup, they lose the title, but they do get to keep their belt. So we had to keep a few belts aside, and unfortunately, we just didn't get the belts in time to pick up and to bring along to the event. So it was embarrassing. It was terrible, but very fortunately, Todd Hutchings is very, very, very gracious and accommodating, and so I was watching the matchups, and very fortunately, Gunter's had won. Very fortunately, Hamza had won, so which was great because there were 2 titles that we didn't have to, 2 belts that we didn't have to hand over. And I, of course, keep my fingers and toes crossed for the big man, the beast, to walk away with the victory. So
big ask against
my incompetence would never be exposed to the world.
but bloody Jack
comes up.
He's the only person who's noticed.
I know. So well done, Jack.
You win the.
You win this belt. So the story goes, of course, but before Todd's matchup, I explained the situation to Todd and said, look, mate, if you do happen to win against Mataringi, we don't have your belt, so we'll have to post that out to you or something. He said, hey, I'm not, that those things don't bother me in the slightest. You just post it out to me. That's all cool. I'm super cool with it. Don't be upset. Don't be worried about it. He was just awesome, and I was slightly dying inside. And then
I wonder if he's got already because you sent it out Monday.
it's all been sent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So you should get it sometime. I mean, it's a heavy package, so it might be sometime the next.
Yeah, hopefully he takes photo and uploads it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll let us know it's all got there safely. So he was very cool with it, and of course, then I had to walk over to Gunter's and say, "Hey, Gunter's, in the event that Todd wins this, we don't have a belt to give him. So is it okay if I borrow yours?" And we'll whack that over his shoulder, and nobody will notice apart from Jack Smitten.
No one noticed.
No one noticed until now. So it's all been exposed, and it's a nice little AWE legend now, isn't it?
So when you get to training next, then you'll be like, Jack, just come over here on the table with me, mate.
Jack.
Are you warmed up? Because you're gonna have to be.
So I'm sure you guys might have already been taking the collective feedback from the hardcore fans who follows the sport deeply. Having said that, I wish further success in future events. That's why we love you, Couch Apple.
We'd still love your feedback, Couch Apple.
Yeah, we'd love. Yeah, don't hide your opinions. You only hurt Hollywood Matt Connelly's feelings. I'm fine with whatever you got to say.
If you send it in Danish, I just won't translate it.
Reviewing it. Well, that's interesting, Dominic. Because I did notice a comment. I don't know. It might have even been you, but amongst the comments and the feedback that was on there, that somebody said, look, it must be terrible for the spectators. And I just say to you, if it was terrible for the spectators, do you think the UFC would have a cage? Like, really?
They had no problems.
Do you think they would charge extra for the seats around the cage, like the ringside seats, the cage side seats? That's where they have the VIP section. It's the absolute best vantage point. So the answer to that is absolutely no. It doesn't encumber the view at all. And I guess that feeling might be because when the camera's on there, you can't really see much beyond it, or it's a little bit of a blur. But that's just the lighting and the way that the camera reacts against the cage. It's not an issue when you're there and in person.
No, that's right.
And I can speak from personal experience, having spent some time sitting next to cages over the last couple of years. So there's no issues from the viewing, and everybody got a wonderful vantage point that was there in person, and to those watching on TV, the same. And I think the elevated nature of the cage is also somewhat of a feature. You know, you can't.
Did you like the moat that we put in with the alligators and the fire?
I did notice the molten lava, and I thought it was a nice touch. Nice touch.
That's awesome.
But nice to see that you were concerned about the audience seeing it, and the answer to that is yes, they could absolutely see it there, Dominic.
So Jack says, Jack, your favorite man, the red-shirted arm wrestler with the eagle eyes, says it was a great look in person and on camera. Only crap when we got stuck behind the poles when getting moved around. Yeah, so we had a lot of people pushing in, which is great. The audience started really bunching up around, so maybe you got stuck where you couldn't quite see, and I guess you just had to move positions there. But we definitely had lots of viewing space in that room. And Alex says, "Oh no, rest in peace." I guess that's about the belt and caught out. Yes, we were, but that's all right. Toddzilla will have his belt if he hasn't got it already.
Yeah.
Yummy says the cage was great. I'm not sure if there is any other promotion using a cage. So AWE stands out in that respect. Yeah, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier. We went through a bit of a review of everything with Ryan Blue Bowen, and that was one of the standout points for us, was that we really liked the cage. So you'll probably see that again in the future at AWE events.
So it's a nice point of difference.
Absolutely.
Everything about the aesthetics was awesome. This is from Ryan Man. So I don't know if you're a fan of Ryan Bowen and that's you're his man or not. No, I'm not sure. But love the aesthetics. Great setting and atmosphere. Ideally earlier start for the US. Ref was great for early matches. Lost some control later on. Needs to close both hands together. Yep. Kind of agree with you on all of those points, mate. I think they're all really valid. I love the aesthetic. The look and feel to it was great. The sound was awesome. The commentary was absolutely world class. The AV guys, the camera guys did an absolutely spectacular job of covering an event. Of course, they're not specialists in covering arm wrestling, so they're not necessarily familiar with everything that they should be capturing. But nonetheless, they did a terrific job. Yeah. So thank you, Chris Murch and the team there. Ideally, earlier for the US, that's part of our discussions as well, mate. Like we understand that most of our audience is in the US, and so what you will see in and with this particular event, we weren't in complete control of our timing as we were dovetailing with Diamondback Fighting Championship with this promotion, as we did with AWE1. And so we're very much led by their timing with respect to when we started. And of course, that was a huge disadvantage to those people that wanted to see the event all the way through, but on the East Coast of the US may have had to have waited up until the early hours of the morning in order to see it all, 3:30, 4 o'clock, I think, New York time by the time that curtains came down on AWE2. So we thank, of course, all those people that did pay the pay-per-view in the US and pay for the pay-per-view in the US, and who hung in there until the end, even though the timing was obviously disgusting for you. But you will see some changes. So I think for us to coincide with prime time for you guys means us starting much earlier on a Sunday morning. So you'll see us kind of kicking off at about 9 a.m. at our next event, and finishing off about lunchtime our time, which will work out very nicely, and we'll be right in the heartland of prime time, regardless where you might be in America.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Jack Sweeten says that he will collect the belt on Sunday night.
No, confident, Jack.
You got to beat this man to get it. Have you seen the size of those arms? Yeah, you did what I did. I always lean the wrong way. It's funny. It's the mirror thing gets me. Couch Apple says, I'm one of top contributors in Facebook Arm Wrestling Community Forum. I regularly post articles, reviews, takeaways, highlights from major arm wrestling events. Recently, I did my honest feedback from the AWE2 event. I'll have to look out for that. Is that on Reddit or is that Facebook Arm Wrestling Community Forum? Awesome.
So Couch Apple, do you have a website or your own page that we can refer to? Because you're wonderful supporters of ours. We'd love to be able to get behind you.
You know that Reddit thread that was done that Ryan referenced? I believe it was Couch Apple that did that. He listed all the times and the matches and everything. So
what a legend!
Yeah,
right. Well done, Couch Apple. So thank you very much for that. That was really cool. And you, so that's where you put your honest feedback. You're not going to put the honest feedback in the
dishonest
comments
feedback here.
Here it's all just
you guys did great,
guys,
yeah.
Well done. But go off to the Reddit and it's like, oh, fucking shit. Oh, is that how it goes?
That's exactly how he sounds as well, with an Australian accent and everything.
I reckon he sounds a little bit more like Jake and a little bit less like the chef off the Muppets. So I reckon that's pretty much. But,
well, he's Swedish, isn't he? The Swedish chef.
Oh, sorry, he's not Danish. He's Swedish. Yeah, that is true. But I've just figured kind of close. But
it was close enough.
Yeah.
People can draw their own parallels.
And Couch Apple, what did you think of the commentary? Of course, Ryan had to jump out of the commentary or off the commentary desk and into the cage, and then we had Jake jump in. So interested in your thoughts there, and any feedback that you've got. You won't hurt our feelings, I can assure you. Well, you might.
You'll hurt Jake's feelings. No.
Only if you talk shit about Jake. Otherwise, he's happy for you to talk shit about us.
Oh, yes. So Jake Ward, the Aussie arm wrestler, obviously doing the post-fight match interviews and then jumping on the commentary desk for when Ryan jumped up to do his match, and for the main event as well. So it was a pleasure to have Jake on board. And it's what did you think of, if anybody, what did you think of Dave's announcing?
Oh, don't fucking no.
Trent Taylor, Trent, I didn't see you there on the weekend.
Trent,
or did I can't remember. I saw so many people.
Great work, guys. It was great. Needed to be longer.
Wow.
For Trent, too much arm wrestling is barely enough, isn't it?
Well, you had the after ball as well, which went on to the wee hours. It was a long after balling session, which was amazing to have. Not only the guys from the card, but all the general public, and I think 90% of the Titans club were there.
Yeah, and if you want to catch some of that after ball action, you can still do so by jumping onto the AWE YouTube page, YouTube channel. You will see that in the live section. So we did go live straight afterwards, and that was free to the public, unlike the pay-per-view. So if you either struggling a little bit and you couldn't buy the pay-per-view, but you still wanted to keep up to date with all of the results and hear from the athletes themselves, then there was that chance to do so at the after pull event. And of course, that rolled on into the evening. And it's also one of the benefits of buying an AWE ticket in person. And we're going to talk about that because at our next event, there will be even more value for those attendees. We really want to look after those people that come along and
they all get a championship belt on entry.
Everybody and a Bunster's hot sauce. So, and well, you get one of these if you can drink one of these. There you go. So, yeah, and thanks to Bunster's. Bunster's got behind us, Andrew Bunster and the team there. It's a fantastic product. Comes out of Perth, Australia. You can buy it on shelves in North America right now. It's got distributorship right across the US. So if you are watching overseas, Bunster's hot sauce,
really hot.
Get your gob around that, 12 out of 10. And they've got a whole range of stuff you can buy online as well. So check all of that out. Of course, Barbell Foods right behind us. That's how you get biceps like that. That's all biltong, by the way.
It is.
And biltong, it's not beef jerky. It's air dried, so it's not cooked in an oven or dried in an oven. It's air dried, and you can see why there's so many big bloody South Africans out there because Richard Bornman, that's been his whole diet has been biltong since he was a very, very young child.
You know who loved that in the after pool? Because I brought a packet over when we were doing the show.
Oh, that's where my packet went.
Oh, one packet. Matawaringi. He couldn't get enough of it. He was like, this is amazing. This is incredible. I was like, take as much as you want.
Just more and more protein.
So Jack Smeaton says, did the shirt giveaway happen? I've totally forgotten about that. We are in the process of doing that. We've got to collate, waiting for all the pay-per-view numbers and names and everything to pop back in, but we will do that at some point and let you know if you won or not. Did you buy the pay-per-view though?
Yeah, Jack, did you buy it?
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, who you're just asking for a friend, are you? Ryan is the best commentator in the business. Not a fanboy. Okay. All right. So this is objective. This is Ryan's mum, by the way, and the name on here is Ryan's man. So if you bring Travis, he would be hilarious.
Travis is a funny commentator. Absolutely,
he's a great commentator, but very charismatic man.
Sure, he is one of that gravelly voices. You know, it's just.
I'll tell you this, young man.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Was that not the best Travis?
Ready, bang! So I've got both of them now. So what I'm hoping is that by AWE3, we don't need to hire any talent. And as soon as I can work out how to do Ryan and Matt's voice, because they're the same voice, once I can do that, we don't need anybody else. It'll just be me on the microphone.
You ever seen us both in the same room at the same time?
It hasn't happened.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. We've got to fly back to Queensland to play Ryan for tomorrow. Jack says, will we be able to order AWE shirts from the website once it's up and running?
It's a very good question. Technically, you're able to now, but I couldn't tell you what the address is online because it's a little bit convoluted. So we are in the process of building a website out. So the AWE website should be up and running very, very soon, and you'll be able to do a few things on that website, Hollywood. So you'll be able to not just buy your merchandise and keep up to date.
You can click on things.
You can click on things.
You can right click on things.
Menus. You can go to the contact page and not be able to get our contact details. And then stay tuned because that's where you'll be able to source the pay-per-view next time as well.
Yeah.
So just to make it easier for all the punters out there that didn't want to jump onto Ryan's page or didn't want to go onto Jake's page or didn't want to do it through YouTube or whatever it might be, well, we're making that one step easier for you next time at AWE3 and providing you the options to buy it on on YouTube and directly through the AWE website, and where you'll be able to watch the stream if you buy the pay-per-view.
Absolutely, yes. Jack has a follow-up comment there. Also, the commentary was great. Thank you very much. After watching all the matches on the channel, the commentary makes the viewing that much better. Well, thank you for that, sir. So it was great to work with Ryan on doing the commentary stuff, and then Jake obviously stepping in for the last couple of matches. But it was good. I try to when I'm explaining something, see it from the point of view of an audience that has never seen arm wrestling before or doesn't really understand the nuances as to what's going on during the match.
Talking to me,
I am. No. So when I'm explaining the setup and saying that, it looks like, say, Mario Tanbaka's and Richard Borman. It's like, well, Mario looks like his hand is closing really high here. He's probably going for a top roll position. You can see that Richard is underneath Mario's hand. So when they say go, Mario's got an advantage in that start, and just all those sort of little things. So the audience that's watching can follow along with exactly what's happening. And it's not just the action that's being called and trying to hype everybody up, but so that people can understand what they're watching, what they're seeing. So when they're watching a very strategic battle like there was with Gunter Baikovs and Marcus Attirai, which was incredible. If you haven't seen that match, it's on YouTube. Go and have a look.
Go check it
out. The back and forth of changing tactics and little moments and the little sneaky things that these guys were doing to try to beat each other. And, you know, Gunter's would win one round, and then Marcus would adjust, and then Gunter's would adjust. And it was all those little things that it was like, oh, this is what's making it so exciting, and trying to convey that to the audience so that they're not just seeing, you know, something with it's just like, oh, well, these two big guys are just, I don't know what's going on, but you know, looked like that guy won. It's like, well, no, you get to understand the strategy they're employing. So I think that was what I was trying to explain with the audience.
Yeah, no, that was great, and I think it you know, for anybody who wasn't familiar with arm wrestling, they would have walked away with a really solid working knowledge after listening to the commentary. And for fans of arm wrestling, you know, they would have really appreciated the insightful nature of the commentary and just that helping hand, you know, just that. So I loved it. I thought it was great watching it back. It was something that really stood out to me. I was impressed with it in AWE 1, but AWE 2, you guys nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. When's the next one? Oh, hang on. Matt holds his own.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate that. And when's the next one scheduled?
When is it scheduled? Well, it's not scheduled yet. That's the reality. So we have dates in mind, and we will and naturally we will be letting you guys know on the podcast as soon as we've got that date lined up. But we are now working with our athletes to come about some times. Naturally, we don't want to conflict with our friends in the community, and we want to ensure that everybody's getting enough breathing room so their events can prosper. And so we're in that process at the moment. So we've got a rough idea as when we want to do this, and you know, but we're not locked in yet. So
yeah, once we've got a formal announcement, we'll let you know. But we can't at the moment because we
just don't know ourselves.
Yeah, we don't actually know.
Yeah, that's a reality.
Yeah. Dominic's is how is Lass after his loss? Well, yeah, Lass the Berserker.
He's a bit sooky. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So he going down to on the weekend on Sunday, and Lass giving it his best effort. Unfortunately, Rhett Downward of Victoria, Melbourne, was too strong for Lass on the day. And you know, Lass will be back at some point. He's a phenomenal competitor, an amazing arm wrestler, and very, very passionate about the sport of arm wrestling. So I know that he would be very disappointed that he didn't come away with the victory. But yeah, you will see Lass Bolter at some point, and he's a feature of the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club and has amazing super matches there. And you can go back and watch any of his on my channel, and you will be. He's never put on a boring match. Let's just put it that way.
No, it's an excitement machine, and congratulations, Rhett, on that victory. A lot of people fancied Lass going into that one, but the UAC champion walked away with the win on that occasion. Proving too strong. Also emceeing as well. Dave hyped us in the crowd up. I'm glad you got hyped up. That's the whole idea. So that's why you get all dressed up and make the noise, mate. So glad you enjoyed it.
What was your favorite name to announce?
Mataringi Hatamora. How I pronounce it.
You get to really like make it draw it out.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I really like Artem the Russian spy, Taranenko.
Yeah.
That had a nice.
It's a good name,
it's
isn't
a
it?
great name. You know, if you're into arm wrestling, you're ever going to find yourself on a stage or in a get yourself a decent nickname. That's the best thing you can do for the ring announcer.
Absolutely. So the ring announcer will appreciate you big time.
We'll be even better friends. The competitors have mics. Did they have mics? The best part for me is when you can hear the background ref, etc. Hollywood.
Yeah. So the referee had a microphone on. The reason the athletes don't wear microphones is because they are involved in a very vigorous activity. And what you all hear if you have microphones on the athletes is a lot of grunting and a lot of groaning, and it's really loud. That's going to peak that audio.
Yeah.
It's unusable in the majority of situations. So we didn't put that on there. Was one of the things we did discuss is maybe we'll look at doing something in the corner where we could hear the cornerman potentially. But you should have been able to hear the majority of what people were saying through the referee's mic.
Yeah, indeed. You'll definitely get more action from the corner next time at AWE 3. There's no doubt about that. You should have a VIP section. Trent.
You just weren't you weren't one of the VIPs.
Yeah, Trent.
We did. Yeah.
So
it was controlled by Jack Smeaton in his red Titans shirt.
Maybe Jack was keeping you out.
He was making sure that Trent stayed on the outside.
Yeah.
Griffin Rip with Kyle Howarth. Great event. Looking forward to the next one.
We are too.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for popping into the chat. Good to see you in here. And
great arm wrestler.
Yes, fantastic. Absolutely.
Fantastic local talent.
Yeah, for sure.
Here in Australia.
Yeah, we'd love to see him in a future event and maybe his name might have popped up in our discussions.
It might have been to him, yes. Can't say much more.
No, that's right. Yummy, are there any more after pool video? Man, I have so much footage on my phone. And guess how much I've been able to get to of it? None. I've been doing all the action edits and everything from the event, just trying to get the matches done. There's been so much that we've been doing in these last couple of days. It feels like it hasn't stopped. Like the event was Sunday, and then we've just been still pushing everything out to make sure that people get to see it. We've got the matches uploaded already. They're on the AWE YouTube. They're on my YouTube. They're on Ryan Bowen's YouTube.
We haven't seen each other since the event.
That's true. Yeah,
right till now.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we were still there till like 3 a.m. or something, packing up the event and driving tables around. So I haven't even gone through my phone yet, and I know I filmed an enormous amount of stuff. So at some point I will be able to have time to compile it and release that as a video. But yeah, there will be a lot of content coming. That's for sure.
And there has been a lot of content being pushed out as well. So if you haven't already checked that out, go to the Instagram page, and you'll certainly see that. Of course, Ryan's been posting a lot on his channel as well. So if you're still hankering for some AWE action post event, then definitely jump on the platforms and check all of that out.
Yeah. Growing big time in numbers as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much for all your support and spreading the love and getting your mates onto it as well.
Jack says, I'm sorry, you can go.
No, you go.
No. Mate can't just have anybody waltzing into the VIP section, says Jack, and he's absolutely correct. Trent, if you didn't get into the VIP section, you can take it up with Jack.
Jack's in charge.
That's why he's got the red shirt. Yeah, did you have a favorite match?
Marcus Tiro Gunter's Baikovs. In one part, I personally, I'm a Gunter's man.
Yep.
I love Gunter. I won't show it on the day, mainly because Marcus Tiro is giant.
Couldn't get around.
I don't want to upset him. But I was really looking forward to that matchup and to see Gunter's be able to hold on there and a close match.
Yeah.
Really, and I think Marcus certainly wouldn't be, it shouldn't be too disappointed in himself. He put in an outstanding performance, and he's a superstar now of the sport. So what comes next for him is going to be super interesting. Really looking forward to seeing that. But Gunter's walked away with the belt and a deserving champion. So he's not a former AWE champion, as he is a former Latvian. Former European.
I'm still Latvian. My favorite moment in that match, and I picked up on this when we were watching, and I said it in the commentary. Very first round, Marcus had obviously done a lot of homework on Gunter's style and his technique, and he had this little smile, this little smirk, because they were about to start, and they were about to get the ready go, and then I know something, they had to restart something, and you could see Marcus was like in a position where he was going to be dropping that weight. He wasn't going to be resisting at all. He was going straight to that King's move, and it was like he knew that that's what he was going to do, but he was sort of cheeky about the way that he knew that, and it was like I think he thought Gunter doesn't know what I'm about to do here, and it worked. It was on the go, Gunter's is hit with the top roll as he does. He normally goes about the first third on the way down to the pin in the top roll position. And if there's resistance, he'll change to a press immediately. Even if he's outside of his shoulder, he'll press it through. And he's strong enough and heavy enough that he can do that to most people. Marcus obviously knew that that's what his game plan was going to be. So he's gone straight to the King's move, allowed Gunter's to get that first third in the top roll. He's changed to the press, but Marcus is fully sitting down into the King's move at that position and dragged far enough away so that Gunter's hand was outside of his shoulder. And Marcus started talking trash to Gunter's. You're not going to be able to pin me now. You're not going to be able to pin me. And he said Gunter's eyes lit up with fire, like, oh, I'll show you. And he put his whole strength and body weight, and he couldn't pin. He couldn't get the pin in that position, and he tried to adjust, and that's when Marcus made the adjustment.
Over the top.
And it was like,
wow.
Yeah, and in between rounds, incredible moment. But in between rounds, Gunter just sort of stood to the side, closed his eyes, and you could see him picturing the match and picturing what adjustment he needs to make in that, and just that visualization of what strategy I need to employ to stop that from happening again. And so the second round, he made the adjustment of he won the first third, but he kept it real tight. He kept it tight enough to not allow Marcus to get that drag, to get him outside of his shoulder. He got the pin. And then, you see typical. Marcus changing his tactics. It was an amazing match.
It was a game of chess. It certainly was. So we've got mate, can't just have anybody going. How are you guys? We are great, Huxley. Thank you very much, mate. I hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view or enjoyed the videos as they've been streaming out on all of the channels that we've got out there, on Ryan's channel, on AWE's channel. And if you haven't already, please jump onto AWE Facebook page, give it a like, get onto the YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed. Lots of content getting out there. Gunter's is a technician, indeed he is. He isn't a technician, he's a beast as well. You kind of forget exactly how big these people are. So we on Saturday night we had the face-offs here just outside of the studios downstairs in the foyer, and we were setting up, getting prepared for the boys, and I took a step outside to go grab something, and I looked down the street, and the street was just full of about 2 tons of arm wrestler. Mutaringi, Hedda Morris, Marcus Atirai, Gunter strolling down the road, the whole Sydney Spartans crew there, Lachlan Carpenter. These guys are, you see them on TV, and they're big, 100, 120 kilos is big. But when you meet somebody like, say, Ricard Bornman, and you go, how big can he be? And I mean, just a specimen, like 6'4", but I'm 105 kilos. I'm 6 foot. I'm not a small guy, but I'm looking up at and I did the bro hug with the bro shake. You go in and
is it when your shoulder got popped out?
You don't even want to do it with me, do you?
Oh, sorry.
So I did that, and a little tap on the you like that, and I do that recap, but I'm having to tap here to get his, and it's all abs. You can feel it under the knee. These guys are absolute bloody specimens. They're like superhumans, and I put that in contrast because just earlier that evening we had the Diamondback Fighting Championship weigh-ins, which I officiated at, and just around the corner, as it turns out, and there wouldn't have, the biggest athlete that they had weigh in was 111 kilos, and I was thinking in my mind, I reckon we've only got 3 athletes smaller than that.
That's probably true. That's probably correct. Yeah.
So they're absolute beasts, but all credit to all of the athletes. Beautifully behaved, fantastic people to deal with, great people to work with in business and in the sport, and we couldn't have wished for a better bunch of guys. Well, over both events, we couldn't wish for a better bunch of guys to be part of the AWE family. So we're quite blessed that we've got such great people on board. Gunter's is a technician indeed. Thanks,
absolutely. I just wanted to touch on your experience of looking down the street and seeing the giants coming towards you. I mean, it's weird for me to have to look up when I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", and it was like everyone there was
Bigger.
I had to look up at. And it's like Max Tiro, Richard Borman, everyone was tall and big and ginormous, and I'm not a small guy either. I was like 100 kilos, and these guys, like, especially with somebody like Marcus or Matawarengi,
it's next level.
like almost double my size. And it was when they were getting off the plane, so I went to pick up Tom. You already know this story. I'm telling everybody else. When I went to pick up Thomas Fitzy and Matawarengi they were on the same flight. They're from New Zealand, and I was waiting in the airport.
Yeah.
Yes, you know that thing.
Yeah.
And the people coming up the ramp, and it's just families and kids and old people and stuff. And then this bull, huge red jumper. I was like, whoa. Matawarengi is taking the entire lane to himself.
Just shoulder girth, just shoulders.
I was like, hey God. Enormous, absolutely enormous. And he wasn't the only 170 kilo guy.
I know. It was just one or two of those guys. So absolutely amazing. And I think I saw Todd Hutchings' video on his thoughts in the event, and also on Matawarengi, Head of Morris, and what a nice young man he is. Just a terrific chap. As a matter of fact, as we were cleaning up here, I was just rushing around, just tidying up at the end of the night, putting the empty beer cans and stuff away and pizza boxes. And the volunteer that I had was Matawarengi, Head of Morris. He came over and he said, I'll do an.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. If he doesn't like this, I don't want to.
He's probably watching.
He said, hey, bro, do you need a hand or anything? Or I'll go get the half empties for you, hey? And he was like, no, you're the Intercontinental champion. I'm here to serve you, mate. You just enjoy yourself. That's all right. So, oh no, that's okay. And he goes around.
Pretty good.
Yeah. He's softly spoken.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's a little bit disarming about him, because you don't quite expect him to be so softly spoken and polite. But as Todd Hutchings mentioned in his video, absolutely one of the most polite human beings you're ever likely to come across on the planet. Just happens to be one of the strongest as well. So
absolutely.
Yep. So Couch Apple comments.
Likes the stream and production quality were high standard. The camera angles and replays were good. More hybrid rule set given not only for a good outcome. I'm thinking that's a good thing. I'm going to say it's a good thing.
Yeah, we're just going to say it's good. Yeah. It is a bit of a hybrid. Well, it's not a hybrid because it's actually now an AWE rule set. So there's actually, but it is, of course, bringing together different concepts and ideas, and really with the viewership in mind. We don't want people waiting around for hours for a setup to happen, and we don't want people hanging out and waiting for matches to change over and downtime. We understand your time is valuable, and if you're going to give your time to our pay-per-view or to our events, then we want to make sure that you're getting value out of every second, or as much as humanly possible. So Couch Apple athletes, but also a great viewing experience for the spectator. Quick upload of all the matches in YouTube for the audience who didn't purchase the pay-per-view, and that's caused some consternation and some discussion, because there are different thoughts in and around what's the most ideal time to release it. Does it devalue the event does it devalue the event when we get that content out there? Does it devalue the pay-per-view? Our feelings on that are very much that if you have the money and you're able to, and you want to support us, and the easy way to do that is you can buy the pay-per-view. It's great. For $15, you can get behind the event, and it's awesome. And you get to see the event first, of course. So, you're not relying on hearsay or Pradeep telling you what happened. You actually, know what's happening. Of course, we understand that not everybody has that $15 to spend, and or might not love us enough at this stage in order to give us the $15, and that's cool, because we're going to get the content out to you pretty quickly thereafter. So arm wrestling fans, regardless of how deep your pockets are able to enjoy the AWE experience, and we've been getting that content out to you in a highlights package. So obviously the pay-per-view is that long form content where you're going to get some beautiful commentary, and if you've got the 2 hours or so on a Sunday to spend to watch it, brilliant. Get your mates around the barbecue, pop it on the TV, whatever it might be. You can have that full pay-per-view experience with your mates, or maybe just yourself in front of the computer. It's all up to you, but you get to have that experience live and in person, and of course, or I should say live and in real time. But of course, the option is always there to watch it afterwards. We'll always get the content out there as soon as we can. As soon as we can.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the things is that if you've got the ability to watch the pay-per-view, fantastic. And nothing beats being able to see it live. And you're immediately seeing the result and you're part of the event. And maybe you're in the chat and you're seeing all this and you know that while this is happening, it is literally happening while you're watching it. Whereas the next day, immediately after pay-per-view events or immediately after the result is known in something, the value of that drops significantly.
Yeah.
So there's no point in us waiting for 2 weeks or whatever and trying to hold on, because the reason is people put out these terrible, horrible quality versions of the event. And it's like, you'd rather watch the high quality production that we spent time and effort into creating and put it out there where it doesn't have the impact of the pay-per-view that it was live, but we still want you to see it and we still want you to enjoy it. And we want you to enjoy the high level production that we've got. We don't want to see screenshot videos and somebody using a robot voice talking over the top of it, or none of that stuff is valuable for you as the audience to see. It's like, just wait if you don't want to buy the pay-per-view and enjoy the fact that you can get to see it live in person. I did the same thing live with everybody else around the world and know the results. Hopefully you don't get spoilers, because you try to get onto the internet to watch it and you'll get spoiled the results instantly. So you are taking that risk. If you're like, oh, I'll just wait for the next day, guess what? You'll probably find out the result of the match and you'll have way less interest in it, and it won't be as valuable to you as if you actually saw it live. So
and I'd much prefer, like, on the live commentary. Obviously, we had Jake Ward there, but if Jake Ward wasn't there, Jake Ward could have done a live commentary. Now, because of our relationship with Jake, you might have even been able to stream the whole event at the same time, so you could watch it on his channel. As indeed, actually, in this case, you could watch it on his channel. He just happened to not be doing the live stream because he was actually commentating and being part of the event. But we don't mind people live streaming it at all. If you don't want to do it. If you don't want to listen to Hollywood Matt Connelly or Ryan Bowen, and you're somebody out there in YouTube land who you'd prefer, well, good for you. Watch our pay-per-view, turn the sound off, and put your favorite YouTuber on and enjoy AWE. We don't care how you want to consume it. We just want you to get it in the very best possible way. So
it's fun for me going back and finding the people that have live streamed it. And I watch, like, for the moments when I know there's something really cool about to happen and I want to see their reaction. It's like, okay, here's the match with say Gunters and Marcus. So it's like, I want to see what they think about it, and because it's live, it's fantastic. So I would never restrict somebody from saying, hey, you've got an audience and you're not showing our product, like you can talk about it. Absolutely, we love that. I think it's fantastic.
Grant Diet,
yes, he did.
Grant Diet,
that's the one I'm thinking of right now.
So Grant Diet, I mean, if you like AWE with a Scottish accent, well, there's your home.
Dave Stockbridge.
So in other words, so what we want to do is make sure that you're getting AWE. So you don't have to, of course, troll through all the channels and all of that type of thing. All you got to do is go to the AWE page or onto the channel, and you're going to get the content uploaded. You're not going to have to watch shitty videos with stills and all of that type of thing, and like say a computer voice or something like that. You're going to get the content looking awesome, and for us, that's important for our branding as well. We want to make sure that you're have got that ability to be able to consume our content in a real high quality, cool way.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you see like a really low quality version of it, and it's like, it's not going to have the same impact as the version that we've put out. The professional looking, amazing quality pay-per-view production, and then you've gone and watched somebody's filmed their TV, and it's like it's in terrible 240p or whatever. It's like, well, no, we streamed at 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's what you're going to be seeing here. It's going to look phenomenal, and here it is for free on YouTube. 24 hours after the event.
Yeah,
So.
and we put in a lot of effort in terms of production values and making this event look spectacular, and we just don't want it to look like shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
yeah. So all right, we've got Mamma Mia. Was Thomas Fitzy the same weight as you, Josh? Well, Josh would have to be the one who answers that question. I'm not sure, but
I think Josh was maybe a little bit over 70 kilos.
Yeah, Thomas is deceivingly light. Like he's tall. He's taller than me. He's like 6'5" or something, and I think he's like in the 70s or the low 80s.
Very low 80s.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling he might have been 82, 83 kilos. I might be wrong on that, but I've got a feeling he might have been sitting around that. So he's certainly a bigger athlete than Josh, but that's Josh is finding it hard to find people his size competitive. Dislikes. Well, Couch Apple, hang on. I thought we were friends. Dislikes. Okay.
This is just dishonest feedback.
Oh, so this is the stuff that we find on the blog. So Ref didn't have utmost control of the pullers and spent a lot of the time and too many words trying to explain in between time of the event was brutal, and it coincided with other good events. Oh, yeah, okay, right. Yeah. Well, this is all valid feedback. I don't know if there's too much there to disagree with. I think Tim did a great job, and keeping in mind it is over hours, and that it takes an enormous amount of energy, attention, and Tim, under pressure when you've got these athletes that have got everything on the line. Nobody wants to put in a bad performance in front of the world, and ultimately, I think Tim did an admirable job of dealing with that. But having said that, yeah, we're taking all the feedback on board, and Tim will be reviewing his own performance, and we'll be going through that with him and understanding, where we can improve, which is exactly what we did after AWE. One Couch Apple, we looked at AWE 1, we looked at what we do better in AWE 2, AWE 3. It'll be better again, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to go from strength to strength, and the reason for that is we listen to the fans' feedback and areas that we can improve on. And I think on the day, I was very impressed with Tim's refereeing. I really enjoyed it. I think that the results would have stood no matter what, as in. Nothing that he did would have changed the results between the participants, and I thought his commands were clear. There was some slight elbow fouls and stuff, but we didn't. One of the things I think we will do in the future is explain to the audience prior to, or maybe as leading into the event, the rule set that is within the AWE, because people might be expecting like a WAF sort of setup where it's very, very strict on elbows. AWE, we are not calling slight elbow fouls. So if your elbow slightly microscopically pops up, that discontinue. That is not something that we want to stop and restart a match for. We have a professional foul in place where if somebody is about to lose and they foul deliberately to try to get a restart, that is a loss. So I think we've put some really good things in place, and
right of review for the athletes. So if the athletes don't like what's going on and feel like they've got a disadvantage or a wrong call, they can call it out straight away, and it'll be reviewed right there and on the spot.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it does take the athletes. They have to take some responsibility as well if they are both completely fighting against each other and not obeying the referee's instructions. And we want to see a match, and it's a pay-per-view, and we've got everyone here, and we've flown somebody across the world to be there, and then. Do you really want to see a match get found out, or do you want to take 10 seconds and actually get the hands lined up correctly?
Yeah. Interested to hear what you guys have to think about now. East versus West also having belts like this. What do you think about that? So, did their helmet manufacturer go broke? Did they only have a one-size-fits-all strategy? What do you think? Because AWE come out with the belts, and I don't know what you call that.
My favorite is when they gave Jerry a helmet and it didn't fit.
Yeah. Nobody ran the measurements through. So
I think he went to put it on and it just stopped. That's
in relation to the giant AWE crew. Yep, exactly. 5'10" would make you an AWE midget.
Even 5'7".
5'7", I feel bad for you.
It does make me feel tall for 5'7", yes. And we've got Mamma Mia, Sasho and Coach Ray give me hope. Yes, they are both shorter gentlemen but world champion arm wrestlers.
Indeed. Yep.
We've got he says Todd Hutchins is 5'10". That's correct. Yeah, 5'10", 100 kilos, and he just took down 170 kilos of Matawaringi Hedamorris on Sunday. So yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, but if you ever get the chance to shake hands with Todd or grip up with him, you'll understand that he's made of something different. Normal humans aren't built like that.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
all shapes and sizes can work for arm wrestling if you're smart enough. Exactly. And Todd Hutchings is one of those athletes.
Here we go. So we've got Huxley says, how many people bought the pay-per-view? We're still tallying the numbers.
Millions.
It takes
millions.
quite a while to get all the final tallies in from YouTube.
I will tell you though that we've had hundreds of thousands of views of the video post event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we far exceeded the first AWE one as well.
Yeah. At this stage, still collecting the data.
That's right. I'm 104, far too weak for heavies. Well,
me too.
You've got the rest of your life, mate. You can still keep going. John Brzezinski is almost 60. He's still in the top 10 in the world.
So there's hope.
That's right. There were so many people on YouTube talking about your event. It was so good. Absolutely. We love the fact that people enjoyed it and the people were talking about it. We've had some amazing feedback, very positive. It seems to be probably 99% of people enjoyed the event, and we'll be looking to go into AW3 riding that momentum and making it even bigger and better. We've got one of the stars of AWE number 2. If you want to read this one out.
Hey, gents, I'm watching while I'm on the treadmill. I can't believe you do cardio. Watched the footage back again this morning, and the level of production and quality was comparable to East vs. West and King of the Table. Matt and Dave, you two nailed it. Thank you very much. Very, very kind words, Murray. You did your little bit. You made us look good. So, that beard was just something special. I thought I was
going to oil him. I think he's got the...
He's able to shape it, and he's got it nicely blended. And I was just a little bit, But I thought I was going to have best beard of the day, and the Mario turns up.
He came in as soon as he walked in. You went, I'm here. Just give it to him.
Yeah. There's a belt for that coming up. But Mario, wishing, of course, Mario all the very best at the Arizona Open. I think it is.
I think it's the Arizona State
Championship.
He's in Arizona. I know that
definitely
word.
In Arizona, and so heading there in about 2 weeks' time to show them what he's got, and of course after AWE too. I know the world's woken up to the threat of Mario Tambarkas. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
is he going to bring the beard? Do you think?
I think it.
Fit in the suitcase.
I think the beard could probably win on its own.
Mario Tambarkas winning 2 matches at AWE 2 on the weekend, taking out Artem Taranenko on the left arm and Rickard Borman on the right as well.
He fended off the threat from the debutante.
Love to hear your thoughts, actually, Mario. If I know you're on the treadmill, but maybe you'll have to type, and hopefully the phone doesn't drop down and get crushed. But your thoughts on either match, just pop it in the comments. We'll bring it up here.
And do we test next event for Biltong? Because obviously a performance enhancing product.
Everyone was riddled with it.
Barbell Foods, yeah, that's right. Great job, guys. The event was awesome. Occult Punk Zenarchy. Zenarchy, sorry, mate.
Occult Punk Zenarchy. That sounds like an obscure German rock band or something.
It does. It sounds like something Mum would be upset if you playing loud.
Thank you very much for the feedback there.
Yeah, great work, mate. Thank you.
Got another one of the AWE competitors on Sunday.
AWE superstar Ethan Tunstall. Thomas was 78 kilos, and Josh was 71. Like I say, deceptive that Thomas Fitzy was 78 kilos. Like I say, 6'5" and 78 kilos. Yeah. You know, that's absolutely.
He's wearing a hat and everything. Didn't add. No, well, obviously, I'm actually surprised at that. I thought he might have been low 80s, and at the very 78 kilos. But fantastic match. And if you haven't seen that, as we said before, all the matches are on YouTube, on Facebook, on everywhere and anywhere that's AWE. You can find it. Just type it in, and you will find our matches, and you can see Josh Barker taking on Thomas Fitzy there.
Yeah, and I thought Josh Barker and Thomas Fitzy then probably started off at the same weight, but of course Josh lost that 7 or 8 kilos in blood on the table.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder, there's some great shots of Tim wiping all the blood off of the table as well. Fox 8 Ball, one of the usual suspects. You'll find him on any arm wrestling stream going around the world. He says, "Hey, Golden Seps, what's up, mate? We got to give that a double bicep just for you." there it is. I did them
Not bad.
last night. So
Is left getting bigger than right? Oh no, because it's the
well,
other way around.
it's
So
mirrored.
right is
That's right.
Yeah, it's a little
That's
bit.
left.
It is. It's a little bit bigger. Yeah,
No,
yeah. Yeah, no, pretty good. Pretty good.
And Fox 8 Ball is saying hello to Josh, Huxley, and Mario, giving them what are those emojis there, Dave?
I don't know. I think it's one of those, and it's a bit of love, and it's a bit of.
It's the Fox. It's the Fox
Fox
and 8 Ball.
It's the Fox and the 8 Ball. That's
must be in his most used icons.
I know,
I wouldn't have had the patience to scroll through to find those.
Yeah, no, it's just they're on the left-hand side.
My most used ones is the bicep one. I end every sentence with it. He says hello to Fox 8 Ball, of course.
They were just chatting amongst themselves. Also, awesome product with AWE 1 and 2. Ethan, I think AWE 2 was a little bit better because you were on it.
It was great to have Ethan on the card.
Lovely young man.
I'm trying to encourage Ethan to be more active on social media. The man has a very adept knowledge of the sport of arm wrestling.
Very articulate.
Absolutely. Speaks really well. Did a fantastic job on the commentary we did on live. I'm forgetting which event it was now because
it was a big event.
It was a big event. One of those real big ones.
Yeah, with arm wrestlers.
With that one, yeah. And and Ethan jumped on for the whole stream and gave very thoughtful, clear, analytical commentary. And I'd love to see more of that from you. Maybe go through your favorite matches or even your own match and just give some thoughts on.
I would love to see Ethan breaking down his match. With Hamza.
Absolutely.
And maybe even reviewing Hamza's previous match to see what lanes he thought he had to beat Hamza from AWE 1 and what thoughts he was coming into the match with in order to put himself in a good position to take out that one. Of course, unlucky on this occasion, but I know Ethan will be back. He's a tremendous talent, both on the table and behind the microphone. So big future for Ethan either way, I think. And Couch Apple is improvement for Europlan fans like me.
European fans.
Is that what it was meant to be? European?
Yeah, he's Danish. You got to give him a break. You got to have to read between the lines.
yeah. I wondered if we had a special deal for European people.
The Euro plan.
Yeah, there was a Euro plan. I just wondered.
How much was that?
No, we'll get a discount. I don't know that. For European plans like me, it was morning hours, hence no issues. Issue was with US fans from where maximum pay-per-view revenue generates. Yes, that's correct. That's the observation. So the timing of the event should be revised, and it has been revised.
But you didn't have control of the timing.
Yeah, for Couch Apple's benefit, we weren't able to change the timing. We weren't in control of that on this occasion because of us dovetailing in with the Diamondback Fighting Championships promotion. That
to start at a certain time and finish at a certain time.
We were starting originally at 2, got pushed back to 2:30. I think we started a little bit later than that because of some last-minute technical issues with the pay-per-view. And then we kicked off, and we really had to be finished and out of the way by about 5:30, which I think we nailed in the end.
Yeah.
We nailed our timing. But I completely understand that window is not optimal for pay-per-view sales stateside. So next time it'll be 9 a.m. our time, which should coincide very nicely with prime time in the US, and maybe a little bit later in the evening for our friends in Europe.
Yeah, but they'll enjoy the event if they like AWE too.
Europeans don't sleep on the weekend. They just party all the time, man. So
that's right.
They're cool.
We've got Brian Contrano who's jumped in here. It says treadmill will make you skinny, Mario. You got to stop what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's doing cardio either. It's useless. No one got stronger doing cardio. All right, so.
Arizona, just like Arizona, Mario.
Arizona, there should be eating.
Actually,
no, I think he's got to come underweight, doesn't he? I think that might be part of it.
That's probably
he's competing. He's competing against little guys.
So under 100 kilos.
He's going to start pulling around those 98 kilo dudes with 20-inch arms.
That's right. Bowen, there was a live stream from the Sydney Spartans last night. I jumped on right near the end of it, but I believe you had a match on there. A super match with somebody. Let us know if you won that one, because I did miss it. So.
And let us know who that chick who was screaming.
Yeah, that was great.
And was she competing against a dude?
Yeah.
Was she?
Yeah.
A young dude?
Yeah.
She was a beast.
She was awesome.
That she was. If we could have a match between her and Laz Bogto, we'd all have to put earplugs in. But she was thoroughly entertaining.
That
She's
was
a
amazing.
little superstar.
Absolutely.
I feel for some of the smaller female athletes because there's not a lot of competition for them, and it is hard for them to make their way. And but when you got a style like that, it's very, very watchable. I was enthralled. I wanted to see how that one went.
Yeah, absolutely. What a match! And first time I've seen her, I was like, "Oh, this is incredible!" She's giving it everything.
Who
here.
is this little superstar?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mario says an easy fix, gentlemen, would be to put more responsibility on the down ref. It'll take some pressure off the head ref, and more calls will be made. As we said, thank you, Mario, for your feedback.
I think we put more responsibility on athletes just being honest. What do you think, Mario?
Just take a grip, Mario. Close your hand.
Just be fair. Just start in the middle. Keep your shoulders square. There's no problems. We can all do it like gentlemen.
That's fantastic. Couch Apple
feedback.
Says my overall take 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Couch. Come on, Couch Apple. I thought we were friends.
Jesus, did you get the shirt you were going to send him? Just put it back. I know eagerly away the next event outside of Australia. That would be super cool. We'll see how it goes, but we are doing.
Well, we do have one friend in Denmark who might be able to help us out with a venue.
We'll go all the way there for just the Couch Apple.
Well, we'd have one sale, one ticket, one ticket sale.
There's one guy there. He's like,
yeah, he won't even buy a VIP ticket. I bet. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's friends with the band. He said to the door guy. Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward is in the house. He
Ready,
says,
bang!
There it is. Congratulations on a great event, guys. Thank you for having me. Well, thank you for being part of the event, Jake. You did a tremendous job as always.
Yep.
So good to have you there and to have you doing the post-fight interviews and to jump on the commentary desk for the last couple of matches as well. You are an absolute superstar, an absolute dead set legend, as you like to call others. I will call you.
You are now the recipient of the dead set legend.
That's right. The torch has been passed.
Yes. You want to go? Oh, this is a Tim loving comment, so you might as well hit.
Oh, well, okay. Props to Tim. He did a very good job, and I'm confident he will get better with more events under his belt. I think maybe the refs should have, maybe the rules should have had the refs close the athlete's hand in the ref's grip, though. Thank you for your feedback there, Yummy. We are working towards the optimal style that works best for not only the audience, but the athletes. So we will continue to improve as we go. And Fox April here says
straight to straps, I reckon.
Fox April is talking about the heights of everybody from before, and he said that he's 5'10", but built like an anorexic stick insect. Oh, fantastic! And I don't know what this one's popped up again, but maybe I went to the wrong thing.
No, it's a new one. Thanks for having me. That's congratulations.
He just wanted me to say that he's a dead set legend twice.
Oh, well, fair enough. Why wouldn't you?
There it is, bang.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Ethan Tunstall says, thank you for the kind words. The changes are coming on all fronts thanks to the AWE.
Ooh, what changes?
Oh, well, probably the you know how you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
It's one of those things. And Ethan being very, very adept in all the techniques.
He's a student of the sport.
He is, actually. Well, his nickname is the Professor.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely.
The student.
He is a very the student. Well, you were in the right area.
Kind of educational realm.
That's right. But very explosive top roller. And
I didn't know I was the Professor. I would have gone, Ethan the Professor Tunstall! But I didn't get a chance.
No, well, you can set that as your ringtone now, Ethan.
Oh. There you go.
Actually, it'd only be if you were calling yourself. But anyway.
Yeah. Use it.
I'll set my ringtone for your contact when you ring me.
It's great.
Oh, and Bowen Contrado says that's his girlfriend. Well, she was phenomenal and great to see.
Oh, that's your girlfriend who was doing wow.
Yeah, wow. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you for getting her involved in the sport of arm wrestling. And it was tremendous to see that.
Is it a condition of your relationship that she arm wrestled? Did you get her into it, Bowen? Did you make her do it? Had she heard of the sport before?
You must arm wrestle.
Some boyfriends are like that. They make their girlfriends do things they don't really like that much. But
she won on the right.
She won on the right.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, it was the left eye. I reckon I saw her on left, and she was it would have been on left when I saw.
Did you follow the link I put in the chat?
Yeah. I think it was live at the time.
That's right.
I think just where it jumped in, she was just on the left and going bloody nuts too. She was, yeah, she's a talent. She's definitely somebody to keep an eye out on. So, and I guess that's what we talk about in AWE is there's an entertainment value that's got to be associated with an athlete. That people have got to bring something to the table, and because ultimately, if no one wants to watch the athletes, we don't have a product.
That's right. Yeah.
So and our job is to find somebody that they can compete against, so that's a fun match to watch.
Yes.
We don't want 4-0 pins and flash pins, and it's all over, and one dominating another, as you might find in other promotions. We don't want the mismatches. We really want a great even competition between athletes that punters want to watch.
Yeah.
And yep. And I think, Bowen, your girlfriend is definitely one of those.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. I'd love to watch her compete again based off of the stream from last night. And I'd prefer to watch that where somebody's giving it their absolute all, and some back and forth war, despite the fact that the amateur pullers at a local club in Sydney versus some of the top talent that are pulling overseas. I much prefer to see that.
I prefer to watch that than East versus West. I prefer to watch your girlfriend as opposed to East versus West. How does that sound?
That sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
If we knew what her
girlfriend arm
can
wrestling.
you say what her name is? So
does she have a name, or can we make up a fight name for her? There we go. What would be a good nickname for a Bowen? I'll leave that in your hands, mate.
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
The dynamite.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Things explosive in a small package.
We're working on it already.
Fox April says, "Oh, Paul's small chick. She might give me half a chance." Well, I don't think you would. If you're the 5'10" stick insect that you claim to be, then you might struggle.
Yeah, choose a beast.
Absolutely. Bowen says that he had a match with Adam Laura on Right. It was a training match. That's fair enough. Both have been training beforehand, and I was just checking my lanes with him before the New South Wales States. Well, there you go. I don't remember. It was a win, obviously, I'm guessing, for Bowen, but if he says it was a training match, maybe they're practicing their starts. And that's one of the things that's really important for athletes, is that you can train and be a monster in the training room, but then you get on the table and you get flash bin because you've done no setup work, you've done no ready goes. So that element is vital to having to your game.
Yeah.
Maria Timbakis. She's also national champion left and right. What is her name?
Just she, her.
I'm sure. I'm not sure how many comments we've got because I've got to scroll down. I'm sure they've written her name like 8 times.
We'll get there, guys.
Can we get Irina Gladkaya versus Dave for the next AWE? Well, I'm not sure who that is. Do you know who that is?
Is that against me?
Against you.
Oh, right. I'm not going to take on a chick and lose. What do you mean? I do have some fucking dignity.
Would you announce yourself into the ring?
I'll give it a go. No, of course, you do the best introductions of me, so I wouldn't have to.
Yeah. Go breather of air. Go wear of clothes.
I do all of that. I'd take on any chick, put it that way. I was thinking about transitioning
to the women's division.
But I would probably transition into the women's lightweight division.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, because you can identify as whatever weight you want.
I want to identify as like a 50-kilo woman. Yeah,
the Russians would still be here.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Bold says, "Yeah, I did. I knew she was the strongest girl I've ever felt. Next thing, she's number 1 in the lightweights. Well, there you go. Incredible.
So, is it one of those things when you first met, you just said, "Look, can I just grip up with you just for a second?" And then you just realized it was true love? Was it one of those
holding
things?
hands across the table?
She started pronating through your grip, and you just went, "This is the one."
This is I can feel it. And I've also been pinned. Fox April, sorry, Soz lol. High levels of sarcasm in my body, in my blood lately. Hard habit to crack. No, we love it. We love it. It's fantastic. Jack Smeaton, any matches that can be talked about for AW3? No. No, we are in the process of putting them together. When we know any details, we will.
Any matches that can be talked about for AWE3?
Yeah. We could make something up.
Yeah, do you want to make one up?
What about you versus a Russian 50-kilo woman?
A I can't confirm.
No comment.
No comment.
Oh, Stephanie, there we go. Thank
Stephanie.
you. Oh, great. And does she have a nickname?
And yeah, what's her fight name? Stephanie nickname. I have no ideas about. Well, for anybody that saw that live stream from the Sydney Spartans, if you've got any ideas about the nickname, we'd love to hear. But something explosive, Pocket Rocket. It seems the obvious choice. Uncle Zilla reckons I'll make it into the girls under 30.
You're very self-deprecating here, Fox April. We're going to give some props to you. You've got some amazing stuff going on.
We're going to find that Fox April's actually Marcus Satiri or something. It's all just bullshit.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. We've reached the end of the comment. We've caught up.
We've caught up with the comments, and we want to thank everybody for supporting AWE too. It was absolutely spectacular. We love bringing it to you as well. It was a joy from my end. I don't know how you felt about it. You probably
fantastic.
Yeah, you did.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm still feel like it's still going because we're still doing like everything, all the content and everything from it.
Yeah, and reliving the moments again, and it's and I guess thank you for everybody for their very kind comments. Of course, that we do scan through all the comments because we're very, I guess, insecure as
self-obsessed.
Yeah. We've got massive egos, and so we're really keen to find out what everybody has to say. And really, we do take those comments seriously. Except if they come from Couch Apple. In which case we discard them.
The dishonest comments from Couch Apple.
Yeah, if you really want to know what he thinks, you'll have to go to his blog. But get ready, Sunday, Dave. Jack Smeaton.
He's going to take you on. He wants that belt.
Jack Smeaton, it's on, mate. You want a super match? I'll do it, mate. I might be nearly 50, but I'll
Dave will do it if you want to have a match.
I'll do it.
Jack,
fine.
That's
We've been training in the studio tonight.
I'll tell you what, Jack. If you win, we'll organise something for you. Look out!
There is. For comparison's sake.
I think it's bigger. It's closer to the camera.
Hang on. Let's go.
Yeah. There
you go. It might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think it is. There you go. Look at that.
Cramped up.
Well, that's it. The match is off, Jack.
Oh, Jack, I'm injured. That's it. I'm out, mate. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks.
That's it. Fantastic. Danger Mouse and Mighty Mouse, I've seen a couple of suggestions, but we are wrapping up the show now. So
ready? What are they saying? Vegemite sucks. Yes, it does. Mighty Mouse
as a nickname, or Danger Mouse as a nickname for Stephanie?
No, that's shit. Let's move on. Fox April, good try.
Right. Just have a super match with him tonight, Matt, to get him ready.
We have trained. We've been on the table. We actually went out and we got a beautifully engineered AWE table, which you can't see. It's just off a camera.
Just imagine that it's there.
Just imagine it's there with beautiful branding on it, everything, and we didn't use it. So
we would love to have used it.
We would have loved to have used it, but there was a little bit of athlete pushback, Laz, and not just Laz, but Laz, and so there's a little bit of athlete pushback, and so we ended up going with the old Hollywood special.
Yeah.
So we went with our AWE 1 table, which Titans athletes would know all about, be very, very familiar with. So we've got this brand spanking new table sitting here in the studio. So we couldn't resist. We've been on there and having a bit of a muck around a little bit earlier.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, made by Dave Fairbairn. And if you are interested, they can't see the table now, but if you have a look on any of our Instagram stuff, there is amazing photos of that table, and it is high quality. We're very excited to unravel it on the day, but unfortunately, I'm actually literally going to be taking that back to Dave tonight. He's going to make some modifications based on the feedback we got from the athletes, and good job from him. He started his own company basically. To make these tables.
Oh well, let's give him a shout out. So if you're after a AWE spec table.
Should I grab it over here for the shot, or can you talk to the kids while I do that?
Yeah, I can talk. So I don't know if you can get it behind here though.
Oh, I might turn the camera.
Oh yeah, it's easy. So what's the chap's name again? Dave Fairbanks. Fairbanks. His company's called Fab, and I'll find out what it is. Okay, so Fab, his company's Fab, but he's building these beautiful arm wrestling tables, competition spec. And of course, we've been guiding him towards what it is that we need, and very strong, very sturdy. We explained to him that we've got athletes that weigh 170 kilos, and they're only getting bigger. Both of those athletes put on over 5 kilos since AWE 1. So there's every chance by the time we see them again at AWE 3 or 4, they're going to be 180 kilos. So we needed a table that would withstand that force. As now you can't get through to the camera. I'll just move the camera around. I mean, this is oh no, oh, well done. Okay, so Matt's just climbing under the table right now. Okay, now it's going to pan around. Here we go. You're right in the inner sanctum of the AWE studios now. There we go. So there it is. So yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. It's all going to be upside down when you do that anyway. You can work it out. You can work it out. You're all smart young men. I know you are. AWE, there you go. So AWE branded tables, you'll be able to get yourself one of those very, very soon. This is obviously the prototype. We're going to send this one away, get the engineering redone, and when we've got it back and our athletes give it the thumbs up, then we'll be releasing the AWE tables, which will all be available through Fab Fabrications. So he's building one for the Sydney Spartans right now. So as long as it's not better than ours, we'll be happy with that. So no, he'll do a great job for the Sydney Spartans. We love them over there. And so would you rather kick a duck up the arse or wax an owl? I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to do either of those things, but yeah, interesting. Maybe that's in response to a comment of somebody else. Just have a super match with them tonight. We're not super matching. We're not super matching. We need
Fab equipment.
Fab equipment. So Fab equipment, you can jump on now. He's got 6 followers. So jump on a Fab equipment. He's got 6 followers. So add to his follower count. He's obviously just started this business, local business, but making arm wrestling tables for the world. So good, strong, stable tables that are ready to rock and roll. So if that's something that you're looking for yourself to train on at home, or for your club, or maybe you're devising your the next AWE, I don't know. But if you're looking for a world-class table, then you can certainly get it off of Fab. So, and Dave, well done. Great job on that one.
Fantastic. Well, lovely to see everyone in here. We will thank our sponsors very quickly. We've got Barbell Foods, Biltong here. Amazing. Tell us about Barbell Foods, Dave.
Barbell Foods are fantastic. So it's a local company. They, unlike jerky, which is dried in an oven, Biltong is air dried. So you get moisture's retained in the meats, in other words, and it's delicious. I like the chili ones. I know not everybody likes it hot, but I love the chili ones. But you can even get salt and pepper flavor.
Oh, really?
Salt and pepper flavor, salt and vinegar flavor. Sorry, salt and vinegar flavor, which is really popular with the kids, so I'm told. So haven't had a chance to try that one out. So that's in my next delivery. That's on its way. And of course, Bunster's shit the bed sauce. If your Tabasco's not doing it for you anymore, and you need to up your chili sauce game, well, this is the one you need. All Australian, as you can see, but a little kangaroo on the back, and available right throughout North America, as the Bunsters team have been schmoozing with the distributors on that side of the world and have been able to get their product on shelves. So you can buy that one today. That's Bunsters hot sauces. And this one is the shit the bed. It's the 12 out of 10. That's the one that I recommend that Hollywood doesn't like that much. But,
I can't handle heat.
You
That
can't
one's
handle the
ridiculous.
heat. But if you can handle the heat, it's the one for you. But finally, we're going to quickly
one last comment.
One more.
And
So
it's, Sweden.
love the shit the bed stuff. Well done, Fox 8 Ball. Yes, we do too.
Sweden Arm Wrestling Television says if you need recommendations on Swedish arm wrestlers, just hit me up. I know a few that could mix up really well with AWE. Well, thank you very much for the offer there. I'm sure that we might be familiar with some of the guys there, and I'm sure Ryan Bowen is very adept at knowing who the key people are. But Yes, thank you very much for your comment. And last but not least is Roll Clean Soap. And they are a tremendous company, again, locally based, and they are all for keeping your body nice and clean so you don't get a staph infection when you're grappling was the original idea, but you don't have to be a grappler to enjoy Roll Clean Soap. I'm just picturing their house as like massive rooms filled with just blocks of soap.
To the brim. Yeah, it's floor to ceiling. And all organic ingredients. And like I say, staves off staph infections, but there's an antiseptic quality to the ingredients that they utilize, but they're all organic, all natural ingredients. So they're really good for your skin. My skin's never felt better, and I've stopped using shampoo. I mean, might be obvious, but I've stopped using shampoo or using any other products in my beard other than Roll Clean soap, because the moisturizing quality of the ingredients is really natural, really does well with my skin. So
I've stopped using shampoo in your beard as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because it lets the Roll Clean do its thing. And so Roll Clean soaps, don't eat them, but they look delicious. Make sure you get some on your bathroom shelf.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. Glad you enjoyed AWE2. We will